Welcome to Travel Insights. So we are live. I'm Krisa Skodra, and in this video interview series, I have a chance to interview thought leaders, professionals, academics, and practitioners in the travel and tourism and hospitality industries. And we are powered by the leading travel and tourism daily news portal, traveldailynews.com International Edition. We are streaming live to our website, traveldailynews.com, as well as on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Thank you for tuning in wherever you are watching us from. Today, I have the great pleasure to welcome Mr. Sam-Erik Ruttmann into the studio. Welcome, Sam-Erik.
Thank you very much for having me, Krisa.
Uh, Sam-Erik is the director of global hospitality development at Studio Puisto Architects. It's a firm with a Nordic mindset. We will talk about a very interesting healing resort project in the island of Cyprus. And today's topic is a holistic healing experience for today's traveler with a specific human-centered design focus in harmony with the nature. And Sam-Erik, you are the right person to talk about this project and give ideas and inspiration to our listeners and viewers as well. So tell us a little bit about the company you're working for. As I mentioned, it has a Nordic mindset. It's an international firm. What are the guiding principles that differentiate your work in creating not only architectural spaces and designs, but also experiences?
Well, thank you, Krista. The Studio Puisto is a Helsinki-based architectural firm, but we work globally around the world in several countries in all the various continents. And as a niche architect firm, we design many things, but our focus is on hospitality. Mm-hmm. And hospitality, in that sense, it's hotels, resorts, living as a service, which is for the aging population for their needs, and then spas and saunas. And our mission really is that we are architects striving for well-being, meaning that it's an active pursuit to holistic health and meaningful life. So in that sense, we are very much guided by the needs of people today and also for the people for the future. And we are well known for designing hotels and resorts into extreme locations because we are using modular wood design, hotel design, and the intention of that is that it's going to be environmental friendly, not only sustainable but also considering regeneration. So this is the idea how we are working, and our goal by 2028 is that 50% of all our projects will be carbon neutral. So it's a huge target, but I think this is our direction and commitment within the design and for the hospitality firms.
You mentioned the carbon neutrality, the sustainability. How are those interrelated with emotional, spiritual well-being? Sort of, what is the connection between the harmony with the nature and then the human centricity and bringing the human needs? What is the connection between the two and how they complement each other?
Well, the connection is not that after we have been through the pandemic and also the stressful life people have felt there's really a need of finding themselves and in search for happiness. When I say search for happiness, if you remember, there's something called Maslow hierarchy of needs, and on the top is that self-actualization. And in search for the happiness, we're always looking for a way how we can be happy. And we are, as designers, when we are designing destinations and hotels, we are looking at this in a very specific way. And so we are creating through innovative use of materials and building technology, the architecture. And where I came in with hospitality, I create customized hospitality solutions for the customer. So we are first of all looking at the geography And we
Mhm.
analyzed the study of the location, because most of the locations are already have been used for other purposes. So there might be the soil conditions, the condition of the site might be not ideal. So we're trying to
Mhm.
create not a sustainable development area, but a regenerative. That means that it will actually get better. We are giving back something to the nature. And then we're
Mhm.
also looking at the social aspects. It's very important that we are embracing the community, which is outside the hotel. Traditionally, there has been always the gates where nobody can get in unless you are a
Right.
resort customer.
Guest.
But now we are
Mhm.
opening, and we want to invite community that they are getting something, and that means also the customer who's staying at the hotel, they are in a way they are embracing the community and learning about the lifestyle of the community. And so that's how
Mhm.
we're trying to give the customer an opportunity for the emotional binding and also getting some happiness factor into this.
Mm. Today's topic about holistic healing experience was came to my mind because you're working on a specific project, a new healing resort that is about to open its doors for the experiential travelers of today in Cyprus. So tell us a little bit about this particular project. I have some pictures here to show, and tell us what is this project about, and will it open, and what makes it unique, and what kind of elements of design and the pillars that we're describing now of this holistic healing experience in respect to the nature and with today's travelers needs. How did you bring all this together to create this design?
Well, first of all, we have a highly committed developer who has very high standards, who are also very environmentally conscious of what's going on in Cyprus, and he wants to bring something back to develop the island from being traditionally known as a beach destination, but now we are looking at a mountain area. So we were
Hmm.
invited to visit this hidden valley
Here it is.
and take a look at the environment. We walked an area for a week and to get inspiration to see what is
Hmm.
the opportunity. And so we had long talks with the developer, and we created a master plan. And for one of key areas when we have in terms of core principles, that we are allowing a connection with the local community. That means that we are embracing the community which is outside the area of where we are building, because they are part of the solution also. And also when the holistic sustainability comes in, the selection of building material, as you can see in the pictures, we're looking at the lifetime energy consumption and also the aim to create an awareness between us and the environment. So the idea is that there's a life to this building
Hmm.
eventually, and it almost like a circular. Eventually we can use the material for something else, but the idea is that it always give back something, because we're talking about the carbon neutrality. And also that for the regeneration, because people are tend to talk about sustainability. It's like when you send your son to school and said, well, be half good. That means it's sustainable. But if it can be really good, then he has to be regenerative, meaning give something back always to his friends. So the key feature is to further encourage the reestablishment of the ecosystem on site. That means that we are putting back something, plants and so on. And also we're looking at the placement of the buildings, because we have a
Hmm.
microclimate area, and we're looking at carefully at the geography, how we're going to place these areas. Yeah, so that's kind of in a nutshell. But then, of course, then it comes to the creating the holistic experiences, and that is really more about what the traveler needs are and where we can bring the difference to a resort like this than compared to the sun, sea, and sunbathing environment.
Mm.
It's basic but well-being, where people are seeking in the search for happiness to become
Mm.
better themselves.
And tell us a little bit when this resort, I think it has a name already. It's the Solea Valley Hearing Resort. Is this the name that we will know of it in the near future when it opens its door? So you spoke about the experiential traveler, what the pandemic has caused. So the pandemic has accelerated the increase for the experiential tourism, for the holistic healing, and as you mentioned, getting away from the concrete jungle and one hotel next to the other, and the getting a tan and then getting sort of the sea sand type of holiday that we're very familiar with. So, how would you say that the this particular healing resort stands out of the competition in concrete terms? So if you paint a picture for us in the future, if we would book our rooms there and accommodation there, would like to visit, what would make special? What kind of experiences we would be immersed to? Give us some ideas. You talked about the location, the connection to the nature, to the local community, but give me some ideas. I know that, for instance, we discussed before the importance that the bees play in this particular location and climate. What this particular healing resort have in place for the travelers? Give us some ideas.
Sure.
What makes it unique?
Well, I think that one of the unique is the first is that thing is that you will be you will be in connection with a healing concierge who will tailor make and customize your visit, because we know that the needs of the today's traveler is that they want to do something different that they haven't done before. They are willing to travel quite far in order to accomplish that, and so they will always look at what could a place like this offer that I haven't experienced before. So whether it's going to be you mentioned the bees, because beekeeping is one part of it, and the beekeeping is because of the kind of a traditional many thousand-year therapies that has been around. I think it's in Greece. It's very popular in Eastern Europe. It's called apitherapy, and apitherapy essentially is they're using the bee sting, the venom from the bee, for healing purposes. So that is for if you have arthritis, for instance. It's very popular for people with arthritis to get these injections. But also the venom is also as a lotion that is also has some healing effects. But no, not only that. I think it's the larger thing. That's only one small aspect, is because you want to when you talk about well-being, you want to rejuvenate yourself over a week, whether it's going to be about having your personalized program or in group program or workshops where you're learning about how to enhance your body and your health and your mind, more importantly. So we conduct guided tours in the national park, observation of the beekeeping. People might want to come for a workshop and learn about beekeeping, and that was one of the aha moments, for me when I visited the site, that I never knew. I know there's a honey in the jar, but I didn't know about the bees more than that. So I
What did
learned
you
that.
learn during that visit?
Well, I learned never. For instance, there are all kinds of bees that can be very aggressive, but there also are bees that are not aggressive, and also that when you have a master beekeeper, they carefully analyze and observe the behavior of the queen bee and the bees around them. And in one way, they are kind of selecting the kind of bees that are fit for the kind of beekeeping they have in mind, and to create the organic honey. So I was walking around with a beekeeper without any protective gear. And I was wondering, well, is this going to be very safe? He said, well, don't worry, just come over. And so we walked, and I had my iPhone taking pictures where he was feeding the bee hives with honey. If you go to a supermarket today and buy honey, most of the I would say majority of the bees have been fed with sugar water. But in this particular case, we are talking about an organic beekeeping. They're using actually the honey that they have produced already. So it actually gives a double or triple effect for the end product. But I also learned about how the important role of the queen bee, and also their behavior and of the queen bee, how they are, in one way, they're controlling the community, and also they showed me how the evolution of the small bees are in the small cocoons, how they're coming out. And so I was quite taken by this, and I felt that organic honey tastes in a very different way to me than it was before.
Mm-hmm. Here, you're representing, as I mentioned in the beginning, the Studio Puisto Architects firm, and here we can find more information. Studiopuisto.fi/n for English. And how is your firm working with your customers? You mentioned in the beginning, if we go back to the process, you look at the location, you discuss with your customer, you before you create a design and choose the right materials and what the experiences should be like. You talk about the healing concierge and so on. So how do you work about, and what makes also the business model you are operating with unique? How do you handle each project and its client of yours?
Well, it starts with with a workshop, basically, with client to understand what their needs are and also what is their vision for that development. And then we are bringing in our input into this. And since they have already chosen us as one of the alternative architects for the project because they know our commitment to ecological and architecture and also modular, because it might be a very difficult environment, and we are very keen about preserving the environment. So we are having all these discussions about the vision, and also eventually we comes to also to what is the ideal customer for the place. They may have a very clear idea in their mind, but my role is also to look at what are the trends and also what are the needs of today's customer when we call about what we call about this immersive travel, where you want to kind of immerse yourself to a location, or experiential travel. So I provide that input, and then we are walking the site and we are looking at the site in the sense of, in terms of we're analyzing the rain, the wind, the microclimates, to looking at what is ideal location for these, and how many percent of that site we should be building. Is it the 10% of the entire site which will build, so it provides a luxurious experience for the visitor? So we start from there, and then we start to sketch out ideas. And for this particular area, after 1 week we came back with a draft, because we were so taken and so excited about this area and the potential of this area. So we come up with that, and as a result of that, then there's a design process that continues, and the developer, of course, will bring on board various other consultants, where it's the environmental consultant, might bring the spa consultant, and my role comes in eventually when the idea is to bring a hotel operator or a brand for this particular project. That means that we have to choose there carefully a like-minded operator that has also whose values are matching the what we have in mind for the project with the developer and us as a designer.
And when do this project, the Solea Healing Resort, would open its doors eventually? Do we have an estimate?
I think we are looking at the late 2024. It will be maybe the first units will be ready, and then the following year, during the following year, it will be fully ready in operation and to welcome the guests.
Great. So welcome. Keep your eyes there. More information at the work the Nordic and international firm Studio Puisto Architects are doing. I would like to thank at this point Sam-Erik Ruttmann, and let me know if there's something that we haven't touched upon that you absolutely love to mention in today's topic. We spoke about the holistic healing experience of today's traveler, the human centricity, and still the connection and harmony with the nature. Is it something on your mind that you absolutely want to leave our viewers with?
I think that the one of the key changes that has happened now is that we have 3 generations of travelers: the generation Y, Z, and Alpha, which will be by 2030 will be the biggest travel groups who are spending money on a luxury experience. And luxury doesn't mean that materialistic, but also they are willing to travel to all kinds of places in the world just to learn something new, not only about themselves, but also about the place. And they're willing to spend what we call the slow travel. They might spend a little bit longer period of time, and also might be working in that area. So the way of taking holidays has changed dramatically, and I think that's where resorts like this have a very important role in when people are in the search for happiness.
Great way to close. In search for happiness, slow travels, and all those trends that have indeed a very positive meaning for our mind and body and soul as well. So in search for happiness, I think I'm this kind of traveler myself. So I'm looking forward to this resort being open in the island of Cyprus. I would like to thank Sam-Erik Ruttmann who was with me today. Thank you, Sam-Erik.
Thank you very much, Chris. It was really fun to be with you today. Thank you.
Thank you. And don't forget that this is Travel Insights powered by the leading travel daily news portal, traveldailynews.com. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next Wednesday. And if you have any other interesting topics in mind that you would like to bring to the forefront and discuss with me here, make sure you book your interview here at this email, press@traveldailynews.com. I'd love to hear from you. So thank you for tuning in and listening, and I'll see you. Bye.